of this to come from one simple phone call from one friend to another. The phone call, which was just a simple phone call between two friends saying, this is ridiculous. We need to bring the record back to America. There's no reason it should be over in Qatar. Every time you walk by that wall with everybody's shootout Top Gun records, you see that one record sitting there, Spirit of Qatar.
224, the all-time market's in jeopardy here.
And every time for years I've walked by it thinking, no, Spirit of America, not Spirit of Qatar. It's just uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Because for me, this is it's a we thing. It's the whole team.
And action. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Hi, my name is Yoshko Rayback, and this is Corgan.
Are we starting now?
Yeah, he's got to talk
Okay,
that.
all right, go ahead.
What sets us apart really from a lot of the boat racing stuff in the industry is, we wanted to build a really light boat that had a lot of horsepower and was going to set records no matter what. So basically it was coming up with a combination, getting with Skater. They've got 50 years of experience. Pete is really good about, building a boat that is purpose-built, which is exactly what this boat is. So we started talking to Pete. Power was obviously the first thing you kind of talk about when you're doing something like this. So we didn't want to be, limited to a certain power spec. We wanted as much power as we could possibly get, and we wanted a boat that could handle all of it. So once we started telling Pete with Skater that, hey, we think we're going to go blown alcohol. We want to make around 4,000 horsepower each. He started kind of thinking boat-wise, and that's how we ended up with a 38-foot Skater.
Okay, my name is Peter Ledden. I am the owner of Skater Powerboats, Douglas Marine. We build boats, high-speed boats, catamarans, and we're quite well known throughout the country and the world by building some of the best, fastest boats in the country. And we had all kinds of different customers over the years, you can imagine. And we've done some unusual projects, that's for sure.
All right, here we are. We're going to get this show started. We're up here in Douglas, Michigan, heading over to Skater Boats. We're going to check in with the team over there. These guys are putting the One American boat together that is set to race on August 24th out at the shootout down in Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. So it's coming down to crunch time. We're about 7 weeks out right now, and the boat is still up here in Michigan. Parts are coming up later tonight that are supposed to keep this thing moving in order to get it back. I'm hoping maybe in the next 2 weeks or so. I really haven't heard. A lot of moving parts, a lot of different guys that are involved trying to get this thing together so that it can happen. So we're up here and we're gonna bring you the stuff so you guys can kind of get a behind the scenes look at what's going on and keep you guys in the loop.
Yeah, getting this boat ready for the shootout last year was a huge, it was tough.
the one thing about races, they're always late. There's never enough time to do things. And for some reason, if there's a deadline, it was always right to the last minute.
Things started going on in Michigan, and parts started getting run down there, and little things kept going on here and there until it was about a month before the Lake of the Ozarks shootout when I heard that things were getting pretty tight. So I took off work, I hauled my ass down there, and when I got there, there was 2 weeks before the day that we needed to be there for the race.
About 3 to 4 weeks before we had to show up to Lake of the Ozarks, there was still a ton of work that needed to be done. There was a lot of people that didn't think it was possible. There was so much stuff left to button up that I think even some guys at Skater didn't really think that it was feasible. But I think they learned after that last few weeks of us being up at Skater that we don't operate like everyone else. Just because, most people have a deadline. If stuff gets pushed, they miss their deadline, no big deal. That was not an option for us. We were that close, we were gonna make it happen. We had to button up, a lot of the stuff on the drives. We had to get the trim cylinder set. We had to get the pretty much everything had to come together at the last minute.
We got to work, and every single day was a 17, 18-hour day pushing to get this boat done.
I've been here since 1989 and watched the building grow and the business grow with Pete. So I've been involved every corner of the building. What did I do? I fit the canopy on there, and rigged the lid and stuff, cut and fit the lid. I spent some late nights here, just to make sure it was like support, because we have Ross too. Ross is a rigger as far as wiring and rigging and mechanical rigger, so.
And basically we got to a point where we pretty much run out of time. I mean, we left Skater at the nick of time. We showed up at the lake literally the day before the race, and we got to the lake at, 10 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It was dark.
So it was my job to leave Skater, go to Chicago, pick those transmissions up, take them back to the Ozarks, and meet the boat there.
City, 14 days now?
The whole discussion around getting the transmissions was, do we really need them? If we don't have them, we will need them. So that's when it was kind of a decision to just get them.
I know these things are heavy. Just get it situated.
Fine.
All right, back to it.
All right. Or no, you're good, Mike.
Unloaded the transmissions and the boat pulled up, and that's when that was a uplifting moment, seeing that boat pull into where it was going to make its debut.
I was like, wow, this is going to come down to it, to have it ready for the shootout. The whole goal was that this boat would debut at the shootout and, eventually break records and go to these other events. But in order for it to get going, it had to debut at the shootout, in Missouri from where we're from. And that obviously restricted timing, because if we didn't accomplish that time frame of August of last year, then that would essentially put us an entire year behind. And the boat was just close enough that it was attainable, but yet ultimately what seemed to be out of reach, because there's so many components that go into making this thing happen, let alone for a boat of this caliber that is ultimately state-of-the-art and what I think is going to end up changing the shootout style of racing, what these guys have accomplished and done.
That next day we woke up, got right back to work, checking valve lash on the motors, taking headers off, checking everything, checking every single boat or bolt before we go and put this boat in the water.
It's just a lot of work to make it that fast, but it's just part of the game. If you're going to set records, you have to think outside the box. You have to do stuff that's never been done, and I think we've done a pretty good job of hitting the nail on the head.
Very exciting day for us, about 2 years in the making. Boat showed up early this morning. Going to get it on the water today and going to get some testing done, try and get it dialed in. Kind of a dream that we had 2 years ago has become a reality, and going to just turn into a pretty cool deal.
The boat has made it as a whole to there, and then get it on the water for Friday for testing. Everybody is hearing about it. We go put it in at Boondocks. The end of the poker run was just coming through on its way back down the lake, and so there's boats ripping and roaring and people staring at us, like watching us put this boat in the water, like, what is this monster about to do?
It went a little hairy. It was smooth for the most part, but at the end it did make a hard turn. And come to find out the GPS was not working correctly, so it never saw the speed it needed to, so they never shifted. So our first test pass, we blew up a transmission, and that's what actually made it take a hard turn. Unfortunately, we thought everything was good. We spun them, didn't really hear anything clanking around, so we thought we were good.
It was a day.
So when we called the shootout to let them know that there was a really good chance that the America One boat was going to be there, the response that we got, which I didn't expect, was, "We've heard rumors, we're glad you called, what can we do to help?"
So at the Lake of the Ozarks, the shootout's one of the biggest events of the year. It's the thing that a lot of people look forward to, and with it being one of the largest man-made lakes in the United States, it's a big event where the bigger boats can actually go do what they're built to do, where they traditionally would do it offshore. So.
Hey everybody, just a quick update. We're waiting out the rain here. Had one of those Ozark storms come through. Probably going to be here about another hour. Big shout out to our buddies here at Aquapest Solutions. Let us use their tent to keep our stuff dry. Brendan over there, good person, good friend of ours.
No, yeah, guys, this is what the lake's all about. This is what the boating community is all about. We help each other out. Doesn't matter what boat, who's running, where they're doing. That's what we're all about. We're really excited to have you guys here at the Lake of the Ozarks this year for your first year. Excited to see what you guys run.
Welcome back to the Lake of the Ozarks, a beautiful lake in central Missouri. It's been a little dreary today, but this is the Monster Energy 36th annual shootout powered by Performance Boat Center. We are happy to give you live coverage today and tomorrow. I am Rod Smith, your host, along with Shane Sherman. You've been around this industry for a long time. You've seen a lot of great things. We saw some great things this morning, and we may see some pretty good things this afternoon.
This is the first run, official run. They've tested twice, or once. This will be basically twice. I really have no idea what they're going to do. I don't really know exactly what all they fixed and got worked out. There's a couple of kinks that seems like they probably got them figured out.
Well, we were waiting for this boat all day long.
That's right.
Do we think that American One is going to make their run right here before 5 o'clock, before we close it up?
Well, we're going to find out what John Wayne and
Clint Eastwood
and Clint Eastwood are like, right?
And what have they been doing all day long waiting for this run? And it will be an amazing sight to see.
It's coming through. It's actually on plane right now.
Tell us about this boat, Bob.
This is a 388 skater.
And we could see something, Bob, we could see about anything right now.
We could see complete success or complete failure. That's the scale.
Come to find out, we go up to make our first pass of the shootout, drop it in gear, and as soon as they started rolling on the throttle, we knew something was majorly wrong. It wasn't going nowhere. One side had a little bit of some cavitation coming out of the back, but we could tell one side was definitely hurt.
So once we knew that both of the transmissions were blown, luckily MCON's shop was right down the road and they were kind enough to let us use their shop for the night.
MCON lets us take it over to their shop, work on it all through the night, Saturday night, and then we were the first boat back on Sunday with the 2 new transmissions in it. The boys over here at MCON really took care of us tonight. It's one of those things when it comes to racing, you never know what's going to occur next.
We worked throughout the night up until morning pretty much, changing these transmissions out.
Hey, we're ready. They can see it. We got a green flag.
this, folks. We have been waiting for 2 days to see this. Freedom 1 Racing out of Kansas City.
Right. It's got a pair of actual drag car motors in it, around 5,000, maybe a little horsepower apiece.
So when we're sitting there and we watch the boat and it starts moving and then it stops, you know, we kind of had an oh crap moment.
Now, we hope.
Right. He's in the start box, and he's basically at the entrance of the start box, and he's waiting for, maybe he's going to do this from dead in the water. I don't know. He just fired up the motor. I can see it coming out the exhaust there.
Green flag over to your left side.
And then you see the boat start to move, so we're like, all right, everything's good.
If this works, it won't take long, folks. On the 3.25 mile course, Freedom 1 Racing. Starting from 0.
Right, he basically was off plane.
And all of a sudden it hit a gear and you saw this rooster tail fly up and you could hear the boat go and you saw it take off.
It's flying now, though, Bob.
Yeah, it's flying.
Freedom 1 Racing down the 3/4 mile course. Will he set some big number as he finishes through the Performance Boat Center finish line? That ended fast.
So I know when they crossed the actual finish line that they were going pretty darn fast. And then all of a sudden, they flew right by where we were at the stop line. And they were going a heck of a lot faster than they were at the finish line. And I thought to myself, not knowing what had happened at the beginning of the race, but they went from a dead stop to 202, which turned out to be all in second gear. You know, I started thinking right away, holy crap, this record, there's a real good shot that this record will be broken by this boat.
So the Lake Ozarks shootout, 2024, we definitely learned a lot. You know, we first time, you know, having the boat out. You know, a week prior to being at the shootout, you know, it was in a million pieces. So when we showed up to the shootout, everyone was happy we get it fired up. We actually made some passes. It went 200 plus mile an hour, you know, on its first real pass, stuck in second gear from a dead stop. So we knew automatically that, you know, we got a boat. You know, we got something that's fast and we got something we can work with.